You learn to want less out loud. Not less, just quieter. You round the number down before you say it. You take the smaller room, the later date, the version of the offer that nobody will argue with, and you call that maturity. It isn't. It's a payment. You have been making it for years, on a supply you were told to manage instead of spend. There is a list of 14 names in the best-selling money book ever written. Every one of them was told exactly what that supply was for. Not one of them was a woman. That gap in the list is not an accident, and it is not empty. Something was set into the space where your name would go, and you have been carrying it since you were about 11 years old. It is one word. You will have it before this is finished. Watch yourself at a restaurant. Someone asks what you want, and there is a delay, not because you don't know, but because you are reading the table first. Who is paying? Who ordered light? Which answer makes the least noise? By the time you speak, the answer isn't yours. It's the room's answer, in your voice. You have done that so long, the instrument stopped working. Not the appetite, the gauge that reads it. Check the last 3 things you said yes to, not the large ones, the small ones, the free ones. Count how many you would choose again with nobody in the room. The book is Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill, 1937. Chapter 11. Most people skip it because of what it is called, the mystery of sex transmutation. Hill does not hedge. Desire, he writes, is the strongest force a person generates, and left where it starts, it stays personal. Redirected, it becomes the engine under a fortune. Then he does something you would not expect from a book that careful. He names names: Washington, Napoleon, Shakespeare, Lincoln, Emerson, Burns, Jefferson, Hubbard, Gary, Wilde, Wilson, Patterson, Jackson, Caruso. 14 men, count them again if you want. A few pages on, there is a section titled Why Men Seldom Succeed Before 40. Women are in that chapter. They are in it as the influence that lifts a man, the thing that makes him build. Not the one building, the fuel. You may already own this book. It has been on shelves for 89 years. So the question was never whether the instruction was kept from you. The question is what you were handed instead. Before that answer, something else. The 3 places all of this is draining, every day, in your life specifically. Like this and subscribe, the instruction the book never printed lands right after those 3. Most people assume that when it goes quiet, it's gone. It isn't gone. It is being spent completely, daily, on 3 things. And not one of the 3 is sex. The first is the shower argument. There is a conversation you have run to completion, alone, more times than you would admit to anyone. You have their lines. You have your best version of yours. That is not idle thinking. That is a full charge, discharged into a room with one person in it, on a schedule. The second is the person you are still proving something to. They may not be in your life. They may not be alive. But there is a version of your success that has their face on it, and every time you choose the impressive thing over the thing you actually want, you are paying them. The third is the scroll, not the time, the wanting. You look at other people's lives and you feel the exact appetite you were trained not to aim at your own. You feel it for 40 minutes, and then you put the phone down and call it wasted time. A tap left running into a sink with the stopper out. 3 of them, all night. You are not empty. You are open. And the thing you have never said out loud is the 4th place it could go. You were not told to kill it. You were told to keep it well, keep it quiet, keep it for the right moment and the right person and the right stage of your life. And you were praised every single time you did, praised by women who loved you, praised so early and so consistently that you can no longer separate the praise from your own voice. And by the time you were old enough to build something with it, you had already built something else. A person who is admired for how little she needs. That is what was set into the space where your name should have been. One word. You have been living inside it your whole life. Restraint. They were given a method. You were given a manner, an engine and a lid, printed in the same century, sold in the same shops, and only one of them was ever addressed to you. But a lid is not a wall, it is a lid, which means the question was never whether you still have the supply. You have all of it, untouched. That is the whole reason the last 20 years have felt the way they have. The question is what you do with it in the next hour. Before that, 4 things. Answer them silently. Nobody has to hear this. There is a number in your head you have never once said at full size. There is a conversation you have finished perfectly, alone, more than 5 times. Something you wanted arrived, and when it did, you felt almost nothing. And you can describe what you would do with more money faster than you can describe what you actually want. If 3 of those are true, you are not indecisive, and you were never lazy. You are a full tank with the parking brake on. The instruction is 1 line long, and it is not a mindset. The sentence you have rehearsed and never said is not a symptom. It is the transmutation point. It is the exact place where the supply converts, and it converts by being spoken at full size, to the person it belongs to, while it is still hot. Not the story around it, not the reason, the context, the softening clause you have already written to make it survivable, the number, the term, the no. And it has to be while you still feel it, because a charge that cools becomes resentment, and resentment is the same energy after it has gone off. Same fuel, wrong direction, and it will burn something whether or not you aim it. Watch what happens in the room the first time you do it. Not applause. Something quieter and far more useful. The room reorganizes around a fixed point, because there finally is one. People do not negotiate against a number. They negotiate against a range. Every time you have offered a range, you have handed the other person the pen. And this is where the confusion lives, the one that costs the most and gets noticed the least. Being wanted feels like power. It is not power. It is a position, and a position requires someone else to walk into the room and take up their end of it. Wanting is different. Wanting works when the room is empty. Wanting is the only one of the 2 you own outright. The women you are thinking of, the ones who seem to move through their lives without asking permission, they are not more desired than you. That was never it. They stopped auditioning for the appetite and started spending it. The book is still in print. It sits in airport shops and in the hands of men who quote it at each other and mean it. Chapter 11 is still there, still skipped, and the 14 names still run down the page in capitals, exactly the way he set them. Under the last one there is white space. It has been white for 89 years, and it was blank the entire time you were learning to want less out loud. Not because a 15th name was considered and rejected, because a 15th name was never going to be typed by the man holding the machine. That space is not damage, it is a blank. Blanks get filled, and the first thing that goes on it is not a name. It is a number said out loud at full size by someone who used to round it down. So put 1 line in the comments, the number or the term or the no, whichever one you have been rehearsing. No explanation attached to it. The explanation is the lid.